Hey, it's Heather with another update on my mold detox. It's a beautiful morning. Here I am. Oh, now it won't. It's all washed out. It's a beautiful morning here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and this is another update on my mold detox. Today is the 22nd of December, 2023. Amazing. We're coming to a close of another year. I just wanted to do a year wrap up of things that the progress that I made and some of the learnings that I've had and insights of this lengthy process to kind of resolve this mold toxicity issue, along with like addressing why my immune system is a little funny. So I'm here at my favorite walk, which is in one of the cemetery parks in the east end of Pittsburgh. It's beautiful here. I always like visiting here. It's actually one of the happy things about being back in Pittsburgh when a lot of the other reasons haven't been super great. So, let's see. So I started the year working with a doctor named Dr. Casey Holland of Innate Naturopathic. She's based in Montana and licensed in California. And she just started a YouTube. So if you have issues with Epstein-Barr virus, Lyme, mold, etc., I highly recommend subscribing to that channel, getting connected with her over on Instagram if you also are on Instagram. Her resources are so generous. She's also incredibly impeccable with her word and deed. She walks the talk, and she's she doesn't badmouth, she doesn't judge anybody else. She just offers really great, informative content with her just kind of like beautiful, peaceful demeanor. It's great. So I had the chance to work with her, and she really broke it down to basics for me, in that I needed to kind of dial in some things with lifestyle. Because her costs were so reasonable, because I had gotten my costs really low by house sitting at a low rent place in California, I was able to build that, I was able to have the space and time to do the things like sauna sessions and get my portable sauna and my rebounder, and other things like that, and kind of just get those set up. One of the things I didn't do with her was do the yoga recommendation. And the exercise. I tweaked my shoulder starting to do some exercise according to her suggestions. Turns out I've got a partial rotator cuff tear, which has been dogging me the entire year. And I'm just now been working with a physical therapist for the last 2 months and starting to see some improvements. But yeah, and being in physical therapy is the right place for me right now. So yeah. The second learning I learned was that it really is true that you're not going to start feeling better until you get out of the mold, until you get out of the exposure. As great as California was in terms of sunlight access and building up a little bit of vitamin D reserves, and the lifestyle things that I was able to put into place, the lack of community and the toxic air in the house that I was living in were working against me. So making the decision to travel north to Washington to stay with her clinic but work with her Washington licensed Dr. Rachel Magerman, was a brilliant choice. I was closer to family. I had the company of pets because I was pet sitting, and all of that, I think, and the air was clean. The outside air was clean and the indoor air was clean all the time. And I really feel like, and Dr. Magerman's use of Dr. Klingart's approach, the A.R.T. Sort of diagnostic tool that she employs, we were able to customize my treatment protocol, which is something that Dr. Holland couldn't do because she didn't use that method. And wow, all those things combined, I could start seeing the good days outweigh the bad. Then enter a lot of chaos this fall. I came back to the East Coast, which I thought was going to be temporary, and it turned out to be a somewhat permanent relocation back to Pittsburgh. because I lost my remote job, and my parents have also decided to sell their house and go to a retirement community. So I lost all my access to the things that were working for me, and so I'm in the process of rebuilding. And so I decided, and the learning there, of course, was that the specific customizable A.R.T process, I mean, obviously the doctor was good too, because they have to interpret it, was something I want to keep. I want to keep doing things that are more custom to me specifically. And also, I cannot, at this point, with the amount of transience that I have in my life and instability, I can't lock into a doctor who's limited in location. So, and that's something that, I mean, I don't want to leave the innate naturopathic practice, but I have to because nobody's licensed in the state of Pennsylvania. So I could, like, Dr. Holland has some group programs that are specific to Epstein-Barr. I may join one of her boot camps in 2024, just to kind of stay active in her world in hopes, knock on wood, that I get to relocate back to the West Coast and can continue working with her or Dr. Magerman. So onward, 2024 or the end of 2023, all my symptoms have gone way, way up, and it's been really uncomfortable in my body. And, clearly I cannot float through life. I need to be on it. I guess that's the easiest way to say it. And I have to muster up the energy and the ambition and the drive to be a person who can be on it. So I'm kind of like trying to work up those reserves right now. And then I'm going to start with a new practitioner. And this practitioner is not a doctor. She's a health coach, but she's really well versed in Lyme and mold and parasites and all the things. Uses homeopathy and herbs and supplements and lifestyle, all things that my body responds really well to. And she also uses bioenergetic testing, which is a specific and personalized, customizable diagnostic tool. So it's not A.R.T, and it's not in the Dr. Klinghardt sort of method of treating Lyme, which I think was actually probably the thing for me, but it's as close as I could find for Pittsburgh, and so it's what I'm going to go with. So I sent in my samples. The testing for bioenergetic is like hair samples, fingernails, saliva. She ran her tests and sent those back to me earlier this week, like on Sunday, and I have all the things still. I have the mold. There's still 2 molds resonating. There's parasites and heavy metals and chemicals and bacteria and viruses. What I don't know is the specifics, and those are things that she will interpret for me when I have my session with her, hopefully in January. I'm still scraping the money together. It's hard to start with new people. There's always more cost getting started. So another reason to not want to keep doctor jumping or practitioner jumping. It also includes a food sensitivity and a nutritional deficit results. So I will be on, it's customized to me, right? But it looks like it's generally kind of like an autoimmune paleo diet for the next 30 to 60 days. And then with some like specific things to me, like in the categories that most people who eat paleo can eat, like I'm to avoid beef, for example. I'm to avoid celery and what's another vegetable? For fruit, I'm to avoid cherries and figs. All things that you would think are like super foods or like super healthy foods. They're not working for my body right now. So I'm kind of curious to see how this is going to work. And in terms of supporting, I haven't had specific food recommendations for a while. And as you've seen in maybe previous videos, the weight gain has continued to go up and up. So I know that's not just food, but it can be part of it. what else? Oh, like nutritional deficiencies, actually like emotional blockages. There's that component. There's a thing in the report that talks about your lifestyle choices, or sorry, complementary choices that would be helpful for the healing process at this time. And acupuncture is on my list, and yoga. Surprise, surprise. So I'm going to take the month of January to kind of do a recommitment, reset, use the energy of the new year to kind of help propel me to trying to get some of that stuff done. And then there's a list of protocols that she is recommending, and I've ordered half of them. Again, that's a cash flow thing. And so we'll see how those start working, and hopefully I'll get the rest of those at the beginning of the year. And then hopefully my first visit, this is all like, do I have the money to do this? But I need to kind of dig deep and make that happen. But yeah, so I'll meet with her and see how things go with her. And I want to log that process here because obviously if after 4+ years, her protocol actually starts making a difference in the place where I got sick, which is Pittsburgh, why that's a real indication of the power of the form of wellness and medicine that she practices. And I want to log that in case that's useful for other people, but also so I can look back and see what's working and what's not. And let the process prove itself. One of the things I have noticed is that her order of operations, which is a very classic order of operations, doesn't actually match Dr. Klingart's lectures on treating mold and Lyme. It turns out from research that treating, like I guess it's common to treat mold first and then you treat Lyme, but it turns out in research studies that treating mold and Lyme together actually creates more positive, like a higher percentage of positive outcomes for patients. So I think I think the body is a little more resilient, and you may not have to compartmentalize as much as we think we need to. There's sort of like this, things become kind of like, codified or become, what's the word? Not the dogma, but it becomes just sort of like a standard thing. And until you ask the question, like, is this really what's working? Is this really the best thing? You don't necessarily know. Yeah, that's a tangent, but that's my update. So I'm discouraged that I'm still in Pittsburgh, but I'm kind of at peace with it. I'm clearly, I want to say I'm meant to be here. I want to say there's a feeling of like this is a fate for me to be in this town. I don't know quite why. I have my guesses. But I'm just going to be at peace with that and do the best I can with building my life here for the moment, and starting with a new practitioner that I hopefully can take with me to new locations when those opportunities come up that are like real opportunities and not just me trying to escape a bad situation, but like going to a good situation, if that makes any sense. And yeah, and seeing how far I can get with this. And hopefully I'll be able to, by next year, I say this every year, be able to say I'm mold free. That's still my dream, that I can kind of get back to some normal things in life. Obviously some of these chronic things I'll have to manage the rest of my life, but some of these things are finite processes, and I really want to get through them. So I wish everybody who watches this video a very happy holiday and a very happy new year. And if you too are trying to understand and get better from some complex chronic conditions and manage those well, I really wish 2024 for you is a healthy and successful year in that regard. I will link my practitioners from 2023 below, so you can find out more about them if you're interested in following up with them, if you live in a state where they practice. And I will provide more updates as they happen in 2024. Okay, bye-bye. Take care.